Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to Rise Up After Dark. A little late on the theme song there.
The anticipation.
Yeah, it really did kill us that time.
Something.
Yeah, we've been worse, but we've been better. Wherever you are, whenever you listen, it's truly a good now. So, welcome back. Today is Wednesday, October 8th, and Alex and I, they say where there's a will, there's a way, and when there's not a will, I'm not sure what that means.
Turns out there's still a way.
Our friend Will is en route to the land of my people, Las Vegas, so we will send him your greetings. And if you've got crypto questions, if you want to get involved in the story of the blockchain movement, then you couldn't find a better place to be tonight. And if you just want to hang out with your friends and drink stale coffee and peachy vodka or water, you're also in the right place. This is a show where we let our hair down, we DYOR, and answer your crypto questions to the best of our ability, which sometimes is pretty great. And sometimes, as Will says, maybe shit. So
sometimes we just make it up.
Sometimes we just make it up, but always it's a good time. We play a fun little game here where every time you hear this sound, it means that somebody speaking or someone we're speaking about has gotten a point. And if you hear this sound, it means that somebody somewhere has lost a point. And at the end of the night, usually I tally up the points and give away some canned applause. And this week's favor to the winner could be you. So, Alex,
could be
drinking and saving dogs at the same time tonight, and me just staying hydrated. I think we're off to a really good start. I'm going to give us each a point.
I feel like you started the night with a gwump, but I don't remember what you did this morning.
I don't know that it was from this morning, but I do think I had a lingering gwump. And I actually think you have 2 points because I'm pretty sure I gave you a point for drinking and saving dogs.
Yes, this sounds right. Yes, this. Wait. Does this mean that I now have a handicap on After Dark?
A handicap. I wasn't going to say it in so many words, and it hadn't occurred to me. But yeah, that sounds about right. I ought to start a gwump in the hole.
Did I use that term correctly as it relates to golf? Because I don't play golf. Is that right? That's like when you're not very good, so you have to start with a head start. Is that right?
With a little bonus. Danny Macker says yes.
Okay,
Alex, and
thank you.
Generally, the better player you are, the worse your starting position is. Usually, it doesn't go any lower than 0, but I must be a hell of a player to start at -1. So, ready, buddy.
Hell of a player, rig the game every night. Tomato.
Potato, tomato. You know. And we've already got questions rolling in, so let's see if we can apply our considerable
time. Not the lingering gwump. I know, right. That is the name of something. Put that in our back pocket.
It sounds like an 1850s miner contracted the lingering gwump. I was down in the mines and I got the lingering gwump.
No, that's what it is. It's a disease from the late 1800s for sure. Yeah.
So here we are. The first question came in tonight from a new to me name, and I'm so sorry, friend, if you've been here before. I just say that to welcome you to the show. The King of the Jungle. Ladies and gentlemen, the King of the Jungle, asking about Polyswarm. If you're listening in podcast land and you want to play along, then give it a Google. We heard that the crypto ticker is, I lost it already, NC something, LC something. It's used, according to the King of the Jungle, for Web3 security. So what do you see, Alex, when you give a little Google to Polyswarm? And if you're listening live, let us know if you've seen it, if you've heard about it, what you think in the comments.
So the reason that the ticker is NCT is because this particular decentralized cybersecurity threat detection and intelligence marketplace is powered by Nectar, which is a token that I feel like I've heard of, but I couldn't tell you anything about it. Anyway, it's a token on ETH that powers this thing, Polyswarm. I guess slap poly in front of something, and does that count? It's the derivative of poly market, like it's something else. Is poly something?
It's like putting an X at the front of your cryptocurrency. Whatever it is, it'll probably do a little bit better.
Yeah, probably. I'm trying to figure out exactly what the purpose of the token here is, I guess. So it sounds like the goal is to like connect individuals and businesses that work in and around cybersecurity, and then create some sort of a marketplace where they can like, or where people, participants, can submit potential threats, and then the something to do with the, okay, hold on, in some capacity, right? These threats are being submitted and then they're being analyzed, and then Nectar tokens are staked on the assessment, and then accurate threat detection gets rewarded with more tokens, while you can get slashed for incorrect or unreliable input. Which sounds convoluted.
It does sound convoluted.
Sometimes you read something like, even, and I will say, you know, the disclaimer here is that I've basically read the brochure, and as we know, that's a burn in the beginning of Tokyo Drift. Evan, that's a movie. And sure. I'm not sure see, this feels like take a thing that doesn't need a token, ram one in there, which, you know, is most things, to be fair. But
you know, I could see like the concept of like rewarding bounties with a token, and I could see wanting it to be your protocol's token so that you could control the issuance of it, the supply of it to some regard. But I also am kind of struggling to see. It looks like, at least according to, let me get the ticker.
I mean, the tool sounds interesting. You know, community malware detection. NCT rewards are distributed to people who provide relevant cybersecurity threat intelligence.
The hell is my pen?
Threat intelligent producers, known as engines, earn tokens by analyzing threats. Engine owners buy tokens to supply their engines with NCT to participate in the marketplace. Other token holders can buy and sell to help engines owners' needs. There's just like unnecessary words in here that make it confusing. Why would you call a person an engine? That just seems annoying. Users receive rewards for generating data and staking other users' threat intelligence productivity. I don't know, man. I'm struggling here. Give me something to believe in here.
Yeah, give me something to believe in. I see that the token has been around since 2018, and that it caught a pump when everything did at the end of 21, start of 22, and it looked like it caught another pump around just after the election, kind of like when the, you know, like the Dino coins pumped. I'm struggling to feel like this has a product market fit.
This is annoying. These kinds of things are like a pet peeve of mine, because in the concept of the project sounds cool, but like, I'm so far, and I would give it a little more time, because genuinely, like, this sounds, it sounds kind of like there's probably a subreddit for this that doesn't need a crypto. Am I wrong?
That sounds about right.
Like a place where a community of like-minded individuals can gather and identify malware. These literally exist. That big, remember that JavaScript exploit where those bad packages got downloaded and then got uploaded, and there was that big thing where the Ledger CTO tried to scare the shit out of everybody and make them all buy hardware wallets because every software wallet was going to drain you at the same time. Remember that nonsense? That was from Reddit, like a subreddit is where that got cracked. And then like a couple other message boards is where like those people, you know, shared that malware existed. And does it need a crypto? I mean, honestly, yeah, I could see a way where, you know, logging stuff like that on chain could be cool, but I feel my gut says this ain't it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. And I'd be curious to know. The King of the Jungle says, "I hope it's not a rug pull." LOL.
And I would say, I don't think it's
a rug pull.
Yeah, rug is a strong word. Rug is a, you know, a specific and malicious action taken by a group of people who, you know, artificially inflate the value of a thing based on hype and nonsense so that they can remove all of the liquidity and leave a bunch of people holding the bag, as they say.
Hold on there, Alex. Let me look at this though. In terms of like not a rug, but still not worth it. You see this on CoinMarketCap? This is a helpful way to look at. You can see this on Coingecko or CoinMarketCap. You can see all these different places that the token is traded. According to CoinMarketCap, this is 1 out of 9, meaning there are 9 places you can trade for this token. I would imagine that's underreported. You could probably get it other places, but the liquidity, the volume, it's not. I mean, in the last 24 hours, we're talking 5 figures. There's one exchange called BitThumb that I personally have never heard of.
Yeah,
it's done $125,000 in volume. I against another token called KRW that I don't know. So like the liquidity seems to be pretty shallow. And even though these are all like reputable places, it doesn't seem to be a token that's like high in demand. It looks like, I'm not familiar with their liquidity score. It says a value between 0 to 1,000 based on the slippage incurred by order sizes. Higher score, more liquid market. I mean, you know, some of them are really, really low. I would expect you might have a hard time trading tokens like this. I'd be curious, King of the Jungle, to know what prompted you to buy it. It could be underreported, but what prompted you to buy it, or how did you acquire it? And, you know, tell us more about that, because it doesn't give me confidence.
I mean, to be very honest, I would probably leave it at this point.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't look at it again unless I, you know, really heard something promising. If I had a friend who got a job there, I'd be like, why? And that'd be it. Yeah.
Okay. That about does it.
Fair to put it to bed. I gave myself, just so you know, 2 points. Thank you, Christina, for this shirt. She said a couple of points for that shirt. So I'm now at 1.
You guys are in cahoots. Even when I start with a handicap, the playing field gets leveled immediately.
Yeah, we're definitely in cahoots. Christina, the check is in the mail, and I'm going to give Christina 5 points because,
oh my God,
I need to see her in first place and the look it puts on your face. Now, we've also got questions about Tau.
It's okay. We have a joint bank account, so I think that means that I have equal rights to access her points to pay my bills against you in the debt that I'm racking up by losing. I don't know. I'm trying to make the analogy work. It's not.
This is a gross misrepresentation of facts.
We've got questions coming in about Tau, about Tezos, whether or not we have an opinion on it. But I actually want to answer this question from our friend, technically Web3. Hey, brother. Good to see you. Who's asking, what's up with all these Chinese tokens lately? And more specifically, exactly, we're seeing a lot of volume in and around the BNB ecosystem. I don't know if we can pull all of it up, but I've seen outflows from Solana specifically to BNB. Meme coin activity. Shout out to Bullish Babe Chelsea, who's here, who noted that the Cake token and activity on the Cake DEX. Tweets from CZ are coming out talking about meme coins happen on BNB too, and people seem to be paying attention to that.
Listen, BNB went from what, $1,000 to almost $1,400 this week.
Yeah,
everything in that ecosystem is, because now what do, right? Like you've got a huge pump in the price of BNB. Naturally, the profits from that flow into the same ecosystem as a way to leverage then those things hopefully exploding to hopefully then acquire more BNB. As a, you know, we've seen this before, right? ETH pumps, things in the Ethereum ecosystem pump. Solana rips, things in Solana rip. Interestingly, because what you noted, the specific like flow, and actually, let's pull up the thing. Let's see what the thingy says, right? My favorite graphic in everywhere, the Debridge.
I knew you were going to take us there. I'm actually trying to log into Glassnode because I am becoming a Glassnode maxi. They have got such good data and visualizations.
Oh, they're legendary.
I'm going to see if I can't sign in real quick to that, and then I'll get you with the screen share when you're up and open. And if you're not familiar with either of these, where's that beautiful liquidity flow map live, Alex?
Debridge right here.
Oh, Debridge. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Hang on.
Boom.
Just give you a little
Look at
assist.
that shit. Number 1 with a bullet.
Yeah. Hang on. Here I come. I'm catching up to you. For people in podcast land, you know what to do. YouTube is the place to go if you want to see the screen share. But for people who can't go there, can you just give us a little visual description of what we're looking at?
Yeah. So this is a really actually beautiful visualization of money flowing from ecosystem to ecosystem On one half of this graphic, you have a list of ecosystems with then these, colored ribbons coordinated by the ecosystem they're coming out of, flowing to the other side of the chart, which has a corresponding list of ecosystems to represent assets flowing through bridges from one to another. So if you're looking at this, what you can see on the top here would be the heaviest by volume, which would be assets flowing from Ethereum to BNB, which is exactly what you would. Sorry,
I said not just Ethereum.
Not just Ethereum. No. They're just up top. Solana right underneath it, pretty close. So Ethereum, 105 million compared to, and I'll remind myself in just a second exactly how this is calculated, because it's definitely like more money than 100 million or 50 million or whatever. But as you can see, so like this line right here, all the way on the side, gives you the total outflows from, ecosystem, whatever, in this case, Ethereum. And then as it goes just to BNB, that's this top ribbon here, but it's also constantly going other places. So smaller ribbons, right? You can see here flowing down from Ethereum to Solana, or Ethereum to BN, or oh no, that's still back to BNB. Arbitrum or Base or Tron or whatever. So yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you would expect to see with the price action that we've seen this week on the Binance Smart Chain, is stuff going over there to try to take advantage of it.
And this is just since October 3rd, so this is just like a weekly look. I think if you went last 30, it would probably, I would imagine, look kind of the same. It seems this is kind of like a recent
even more
trend.
so. Yeah. There you go.
I know. Yeah. We had a good follow-up question, and I want to pull up another resource. I need to see if I can find it, asking, what about the outflows from BNB? And per this chart, you can see that they're flowing out to, Solana, to Arbitrum, to ETH. But specifically, I wanted to talk about something I saw on X that was a screenshot of some of their known wallets, the Binance Exchange's known wallets. Let me see if I can pull this up. Alex, did you happen to see this screenshot? It was somebody showing outflows of mostly BTC and ETH. You guys remember earlier, this this week, Alex, when ETH had that flash dip, or was it over? It was over the weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were in the group chat. We were talking about it when all of a sudden we noticed that ETH just dumped right down after spiking up. And this was like the start of what I would say was the big active Binance outflows. It looked like wallets tied to the Binance exchange were just dumping massive quantities of Bitcoin and Ether tokens. And they were selling it to market maker Wintermute. And people call this market manipulation, but this is just a factor of the incentive. Market makers, their job is to have tokens on hand, to be deeply liquid, to be able to cover all kinds of trades. And exchanges like Coinbase, like Binance, their job is to have big piles of tokens to sell to people who might want to buy them, to be able to buy from people who might want to sell them. They're sort of similar business models. And we have seen, this is what I was trying to pull up on Glassnode, but I cannot get it at the moment, is there have been a lot of exchanges that are in short supply. They don't have enough to meet demands. There's sort of a squeeze. And I could see a world where CZ is either by strategy or by luck sitting on a big pile of tokens, like the Godfather. You come to me to ask a favor on the day of my daughter's wedding, and sure, I'll sell them to you while ETH is at 45.50, but you're going to have to pay. And that's his business model, is to make everybody pay him more for the tokens he's been hoarding, to make everybody use the DEX that he is supporting, to make everybody use the meme coin ecosystem that's flourishing there. And there's so much money behind it. I don't think it's a conspiracy of any kind. I think it's just a natural product of being one of the biggest crypto exchanges in the world, having a person who can more or less unilaterally control it, and then having an incentive to go after money. Traveler for Life says, did Evan just reference a movie? Yes.
He's actually seen 4 total movies.
At least 4. Maybe.
If you keep coming back to the show, you'll notice he only quotes 4.
I think that's the first time I've quoted The Godfather, actually. Thank you.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think I've heard you do that one before.
Well, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Put
Put another one on the board.
Guns and cannolis. Hey, you can't just give yourself points. What is this?
I can't find this damn tweet, but that's, to answer Web3's question, that's like what I'm thinking. What are you looking at here? Are you looking at, oh yeah, you've got Crypto Quant. This is a great resource too, everybody. Crypto Quant, tell them about it.
So this is just another on-chain analytics platform. Shows you all kinds of really good stuff. This chart in particular has been making the rounds lately because holy shit, look at it. This is a comparative analysis of the price of Bitcoin, which is the white line trending up, and the blue line, purple or whatever that is, trending down, which is the supply of Bitcoin on exchanges. And as you can see, it has fallen off a GD cliff all the way down to its like lowest in a very long time. Here we are. The earliest that this has on it currently is October 12th, 2022, all the way over here, wherein the price of Bitcoin was $19.1 thousand, and there's quite a bit on the exchanges. And now we've basically completely flipped to see the price of Bitcoin over here at 123 and change with barely anything on the exchanges. So
Alex, can you toggle that tab at the top left that says all exchanges? I'd be curious to see one or two compared to each other. And I definitely want to see Binance first. It's just under Bitcoin exchange reserve. It says exchange. Yeah, there you go. Go to Binance. Let's look at Binance. Also, I love that there's an exchange called Big One with ONE in all caps. It's the big one.
The big one. Yeah. So Binance, not its lowest ever, but absolutely falling off a cliff right now. Although,
I wonder if that's in part because they have sold recently some of their tokens. Can you go to, say, for example, I don't know, just another, who are they going to be selling to? Probably Coinbase. Coinbase probably has a ton of tokens.
Now, just to point out, so Nick says that don't seem right. This is obviously pulled directly from the chain. However, a worthy note would be that if an exchange, increasingly unlikely, but possible, if an exchange has a wallet or sets of wallets that are not known publicly to belong to that exchange, then absolutely they could hide balances on platform that way. But that, we're reaching. It's technically possible. Just to be aware.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
You cut out. What should I be aware of? Yeah, it might have been me. What should I be aware of?
I was just saying that someone said that don't seem right. And I said, well, it's technically possible that exchanges hide their supply by utilizing wallets that are not known to belong to that exchange, which would be a little bit of something. Nick, I do think it's a little funny that you are telling me to check the proof of reserves on CoinMarketCap because you're skeptical of the on-chain data shown on Crypto Quant.
Yeah, although that is a really good resource if you want to get a check.
Absolutely.
I'm inclined to trust Crypto Quant just a little more.
If you're skeptical of one, you should be skeptical of both.
Yeah,
especially, like I said, a very particular company owns CoinMarketCap.
Shout out to Ski in the comments who said that this is probably not a conspiracy in the market. It is a conspiracy against Alex, however.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's just stupid.
Sorry, man.
C'est la vie. C'est la vie.
Okay, so that's kind of what's going on though with the whole, a lot of tokens are benefiting from this and a lot of tokens are having a rough time with it. I don't think it is anything more than maybe a momentary thing. Somebody asked about the volume on Aster. I think that's a big part of it. I think CZ is choosing this moment, or the Binance powers that be are choosing their moment to play their cards on the table. That to me signals, what were we talking about this weekend? I think it was Josh, Investing Y'all, who said the price going up is the best billboard for crypto. And if I was CZ, if I was anybody, I'd want my exchange, my products to be front and center at a moment when price is primed to go up. I think a lot of people, though everybody is uncertain and nobody knows exactly what will happen tomorrow, I think there are a lot of people who think for good reason that if we're, going into the end of the year that there could be an up momentum. He wants to be on the front page of the internet. He wants to be number 3 on CoinMarketCap because that's the best way to get more people to buy.
It's true.
So,
Evan, just for reference, we don't need to go back through it, but the supply of ETH on exchanges also extremely low.
Yeah.
Interestingly, the price of XRP still way
The
up.
price?
Or sorry,
Or
the supply of XRP. Right up there.
Not ideal.
So traditionally in crypto, shortages on exchanges at times like this have preceded some pretty good things for price movement. Usually people want that token and they'll buy it at whatever price the exchange is going to sell it at. And because it's scarce, the price goes higher. And I would love to see that. The 8 ball says, oh, it's giving me a corner. That doesn't bode well. Buy Bitcoin. Okay.
Sell
we'll
it
do
all.
What do you think about hopping to BitTensor Tau or giving an opinion on Tezos?
Tau, I think, can be a quicker one just because, to be very honest with you, as many times as I've tried to sit down and force myself to do a deep dive on Tau, my eyes glaze over and I fall asleep. So I'm probably not your guy for that one. The vibe that I get is that there's a few really smart cookies over there, and I still don't know exactly why they need a crypto. But I'm sure somebody smarter than me came up with a really good plan. That's
I have seen their documents, and it's clear that they've spent a lot of time and a lot of money. And there are a lot of people who have promised that if I just sit down with them and read them, I'll really understand the vision. And I do understand the need for, a network probably that helps AI agents, supports AI workflows, but it's not something I've done the research on either. If you want the bumper sticker version, though, we could probably give you that. And Tracy, since you asked about it, I'd be curious to know what you think. And the first thing I'll say is, if you're an investor or a speculator, I'm no Will Watson. I don't have the chart in front of me, but I do know when you go to Coingecko or CoinMarketCap, if you search AI crypto tokens, it's usually at the top of the category listing, which means it's in that space we call the front page of the internet. And that means, just like when prices are high, people want to buy. More people are likely to buy it than they are to buy any other, AI crypto token. And I would go so far as to say it might be the most substantive AI crypto token, because my understanding is that it's a substrate, meaning like an L1 that pays its miners and validators to give a certain service inside many other blockchains, kind of like Avalanche does. Avalanche has all these subnets, a market for a specific app or task. And the emissions, the fees, the network fees, they are allocated according to the programming of the network across subnets and participants. Honestly, it kind of sounds like Polyswarm. Like maybe what they're trying to do for security bounties is like what Tau does for these validators that deliver AI services. I think the thesis is something like, I remember Max saying, compute, like the ability to process information with a computer, is going to become a scarce and valuable resource. And therefore, the people who create a marketplace for it, a network for it, an infrastructure for sharing it, if it's efficient, more efficient than what we do now, and it helps us communicate and make meaning about that resource effectively, it would be valuable. They have a 21 million supply, funnily enough, like Bitcoin. They have a halving like Bitcoin. And they do have like some scaling and some growth. According to this report from CoinDesk, they've expanded subnets to now 128 subnets. That's 50% quarter over quarter growth, 16% miner growth, 28% growth in non-zero balance wallets, 21% growth in staked Tau. So it's about a $4 billion market cap as a token. It's definitely getting attention from some people. That's what I got. That's like what I've got. It seems like an AI network with actual usage, and I don't know anything else about that.
I mean, the concept, right, is that lots of these large language models and these different data sets used by AI stuff have been built behind closed doors. There's questions about where the data comes from. There's questions about where people are scraping what from and who's doing it and all that kind of stuff, what's included, and what kinds of things can contribute to the inherent bias of certain models. Do you have a model that is more inclined to give you, political information leaning one direction versus another, or pick any subject? What kinds of inherent bias could be tapped in? There's a lot of really interesting articles out there about that, about particular subgroups opting out of participating in LLM data scraping, which then leads to the inherent bias of these models to only present the side of data that it has access to, which might only be one perspective. Not great. And the whole deal here is that, there's a marketplace wherein anyone can contribute, and it's all open. So you can see who's putting what kind of information in where, and then you get rewarded in the crypto for participating in that kind of thing. So in theory, cool. But, the models could be shit. So it really depends on who uses the things that get built coming out of all that information and data that get shared there.
If the models are good, like on one hand, you've got OpenAI, highly centralized and therefore able to deliver a concise, controlled, excellent product to the market. On this side, you've got a decentralized. It's like if you had good models here and you wanted to create a supply side competition, making providers compete with better solutions for the user's dollar to process a task, that might be a good use case for this decentralized thing. I think this kind of thing could explode, but I don't know. If I was looking for a comparison too, I would definitely look to understand the business models of OpenAI, Anthropic. I'd also look at similar AI projects like Akash and Render. They are also in the business of renting compute to you, but this sounds like it's adding a little AI stack in there. There was also
interesting. That's hardware and capacity sharing. This is data specific, not necessarily hardware.
Got it. There was also, I just found this too on CoinDesk. There was also a pretty serious wallet drain incident in 2024 that the network paused for. It was a big price incident. Wallet lost $8 million. The price slid 15%. And from this article, I don't see what the aftermath was. It sounds like somebody's private key got leaked and they put it into what they call safe mode. And obviously it's recovered since then, but I don't see what kind of update they did, if they rolled it back or whatever. Zach XBT reported on it. So no notable incidents since 2024. That's pretty good, I don't know. I'd love to hear more from Tracy or anybody else who's a Tau maxi. What do you call towers? Towers. If you're a tower, I want to hear from you. Giving myself a point for towers. Thank you very much.
You're total grifters.
DJ Willie Quiggs.
Well, for what it's worth, then I did get points for pointing out who owns CoinMarketCap. So. Oh,
you do? I also gave you a point for something else you said about decentralized compute that I thought was really good. Perfect. If you're a fan of DJ Willie Quiggs,
Garen fucking T,
then you're definitely going to want to tune in, because tomorrow he's back. William Quigley, the co-founder of Tether and Wax, is returning to the Rise Up morning show. Alex said it earlier today. At this point, he's like the fourth co-host.
Pretty much.
And we are going to pick his brain on the latest developments of stablecoins.
I was just going to say, Evan was there. I think you were there. Mac was certainly there. This was my first crypto conference ever. William Quigley was one of the keynote speakers, and I just said right there, it was that the adage when someone says I knew I was going to marry so and so because I saw them from across the room. I said, one day I'm going to marry that girl. With me, it was seeing William Quigley give a keynote address at the North American Bitcoin conference in Miami, and me saying, I'm going to interview that guy someday. And now he's a regular on our show, and that's pretty cool.
Isn't that great?
Romantic.
I absolutely love it.
How about giving us some fucking credit?
Yeah. We'll give you some credit tomorrow on the show.
Almost on the soundboard as much as me.
Almost on the soundboard as much as Alex. We cannot wait to ask him about wallets as banks And I would like to pick his brain about what he would do if he had 9 figures of crypto capital just hanging out, like our partner of the show, the White Whale. Hey, Alex, check this out. I made another cute little bumper for the White Whale. I want to see if you can hear this. This show is indeed powered by that colossus of the depths. He is coming into our sights as we slip beneath the surface. And there he is. The White Whale. There she blows.
Oh my God.
With a message for listeners of Rise Up After
From the
Dark.
depths, this is the White Whale. I don't lend my voice lightly, but when the tide pulls you toward greatness, you don't swim against it. You ride the wave. That's why I tune in to the Rise Up Morning Show. It's not just a show, it's your compass at dawn, cutting through the noise and lifting you higher. Stay sharp, stay hungry, and rise up.
Hell yeah.
You're goddamn right. Well said.
Listen to me. when we
You
hear
never
the
know we wrote that about ourselves.
the fading whale sounds from the depths, it just really chuckle. It makes me chuckle because you hear the White Whale's voice and then you hear all his other whale friends who are like, "Ooh," like just wishing they could speak English. So
Clearly
eloquently.
agreeing with everything he said about how
I do
great
want
we
to
are.
ask William Quigley though, because the White Whale has been, for folks who saw their Twitter, he's been just did an OTC over-the-counter deal of DeFi tuna tokens.
Mhm.
He really supports that protocol and is really trying to lean in like as an advisor. And it sounds like Mahdi and company have been very receptive and grateful. You know, the White Whale has a long history of business experience that he's applied to crypto and I think done very well with. But I'm curious to get William's take on if you were a 9-figure whale, and he might be, and you were just getting into like venture or strategic investing to advise, that kind of thing, the kinds of questions he'd be asking. He's talked before about what causes him to back a founder, but I'd just be curious. I feel like nobody we know could give better advice to someone in the whale's position than William
Yeah,
Quigley.
probably.
Okay, what about Tezos? We got Tezos, and then we've got thoughts on XCL, which I want to ask, do you mean LCX? I'd be curious about that.
In that case,
Sometimes that happens. Liechtenstein,
yeah, right.
giving Liechtenstein a point.
Tezos. Haven't thought about them once since,
At least 3 years.
yeah,
Maybe 4.
yeah. Not to say that I can think of a single bad thing. I just didn't really know they were still pushing because I haven't heard anything, nary a whisper in years. The team was really sweet. Met both of them at, I don't know, one conference years ago. They gave a joint presentation. It's a husband and wife, I believe, that founded it.
Yes. And the name of the couple is just, it's escaping me, but we have Google. I could look it up. I interviewed the one of the co-founders. They had another co-founder, I do believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they weren't the only ones. They just
and I got to interview him for a Twitter space one time. And it was interesting. Like the tech is interesting, and I could see a world
before or after Snoop Dogg.
You know, it was around that same time. It was around that same time. My interview with Snoop Dogg was more like, "Hello, Mr. Dog. Let me help you if I can." I'm pretty sure he was, you know, high as a kite on a Twitter space with like 5,000
I hope so.
You know, way late at night, he was thinking about launching an NFT, and I made a pitch to him and be like, "Listen, man."
This was in the metaverse days.
It was in the metaverse.
Do it. Don't do it.
I was right there with Snoop, man. It was great. It was a fleeting moment of greatness. But Tezos, you know, I could see why somebody would be attracted to them. I think a lot of people who are new to blockchain, Alex, we see this a lot. And we've done this, where you come in and you see everything. You see all the front page of the internet stuff first. And then as you start to get a little deeper, you start to see stuff like Tau, or I don't know, maybe at that time it would have been Avalanche or Tezos or Multiverse X or whatever. You see somebody who's got really great tech. Like now that you understand blockchain a little, you're like, oh, this solves a ton of problems. This is cheap. This is fast. It's whatever. And I really, really like it. And you think, oh, it's just early. And for whatever reason, it just doesn't gain the adoption, the use. Often, maybe it's difficult to build on, or they don't have good marketing. There's something that keeps them from being like the one. And I feel like Tezos is one of those. It's neat, but it's just never found product market fit or a strong app that I am aware of that would make it like a mainstream blockchain everybody talks about.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they're still a thing, but like I said, I haven't heard anything. Although, to be fair, I haven't heard anything notable about Cardano or Polkadot or, quite a number, to be very honest. I think if we were to sit down and talk about like who do we ever just see in the news, it's about 4 things. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a bunch of these that are just kind of, they just won't go out of business, but they really aren't going anywhere. They've kind of been doing the same thing for a hot minute. I think that it would be fair to say, though, that part of that is just not having kept up with them. There's a bunch that I will happily admit I just haven't kept up with because there's too many things.
Yeah, and a lot of them are regional. I think Tezos has a really strong French community. And fun fact, DeFi generally has like strong roots in France. Aave, and I think it's Curve or Compound, maybe, or maybe it's Maker. Maybe all 3.
I think that's good though. Like, not a lot of brands are global, right? And say this all the time, like being able to say that a cryptocurrency or a project or a protocol or a whatever is successful doesn't necessarily mean that it's number 1 in the charts and has the most users and the most revenue and the most everything, right? Like, there's plenty of small businesses all over the world that you would never be able to look at and say are not successful because they're doing exactly what they try to do. Now, I guess the nuance there would be that a blockchain wants as many users as possible to make the thing, one, more decentralized, but also just make more revenue to keep itself sustained. However, it does make sense that these things kind of end up getting, look at, what was Elrond is now Multiverse X. They firmly believe that, they didn't even want to go outside of Romania. They really weren't interested in like leaving Europe. They had offers, I know, because I made some of them, to do free marketing in the United States. And they were like, nah, mind your business. Okay. Sorry.
Boy.
Direct quote, I was told to mind my own business when I offered to give them free marketing. That was an interesting response, but hey, go off.
He's not bitter about it.
Not bitter about it. They're doing great. Killing it. Top of the charts. Yep.
Wumping Multiverse X.
Definitely didn't hit it at all.
That was really good what you said though about like, they're doing stuff, but it may be that Tezos is like, I'm looking here and I see there are RWA pilots over there. They've got some interesting like verification tooling, and that's good for credibility. It's probably not great for virality, like a splashy casino apps. It really seems like they are focusing on smaller kind of niche stuff. They had a really interesting NFT art scene for a while. I know a lot of people who like to collect art that is tokenized on Tezos. And I think that many of those chains will do well, but the truth is like that doesn't create a lot of demand for the token. Mostly the thing that creates demand for a token is hype. A lot of these companies are so overvalued.
But, if an artist, for example, just to run with that one, was interested in tokenizing their work for the actual benefit there, which is, believe it or not creating a pyramid scheme. It is securing the fact that you created the thing at the time that you said you did, and that anything that came after is much easier to call a copy or pirated. It really doesn't matter what chain it's on, because all you need that for is the ability to go to an explorer and get that irrefutable, verifiable timestamp and metadata written into the token that you created to mark the thing you made. And if you're not really looking to sell tokens, who gives a shit what the on-chain volume is or what the liquidity is, frankly, because more than likely you're selling that artwork IRL and just transferring a token to the owner who will then only need to keep it as a receipt, but in that particular transaction, the value lies with the physical piece secured by a better kind of receipt.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better. It's important. Be a bigger part of your life soon. I would like to do a rapid fire question and then honor our friend Austin Cook. Good to see you again. To talk a little about Zcash and privacy tokens. On the way there, though, Alex, I saw that you left a comment to Smiley here, who asked, while taking profits, where would you put it? Cash or stables? And you said stables, personally. And I want to know if we can give some nuance to that answer, because I have an answer that's a little different.
Yeah, because
your nuance.
Well, the nuance is that my dollar is unfortunately the most useful currency that I have to get the things that I need to run my day-to-day life. However, it sucks and it's losing value much quicker than it's getting value. And if you're holding dollars, they are decreasing in value thanks to inflation and currency debasement at a rate on average 20% per year. This year, a lot worse. So I try to do what I can to close that gap. And it's much easier to earn interest on a stable dollar than it is a tokenized dollar, rather than it is on a non-tokenized dollar.
Correct.
I can earn a crispy 0.01% interest on a non-tokenized dollar in my USAA account, or I can earn 9% on a DeFi protocol. With the same currency. That is extremely easy in an increasingly large number of places for me to turn back into cash if I really wanted to, in order to do the thing I need to do with money: food, water, shelter.
I would say my old answer used to be, if you want to use that money on chain, and also if I didn't already, I need to give you a little point because that was a great answer. To keep it on chain, and what better place than a stable coin for all the reasons Alex just said. Until recently, I would have told you that spendability, if you got to pay your taxes, if you got to buy something at the store, probably would be easier with cash. So some of it, if I don't plan to reinvest it, I would move to cash to pay bills. But now, man, the products are so good. Every single wallet, every single exchange practically has a debit card and will allow you to park your stable coins just on their platform, earn some interest that's better than your bank, and then swipe a card to pay for your bills with that same stable token.
Correct.
So I'm hard pressed to find any reasons why cash is king, except that I can, hand it to somebody if they're hungry.
But see, here's the thing. Like you said, with more and more cards and more options for me to use wallet apps the same way that I would use Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, whatever, of which many are readily accessible and used in, businesses all over the place. I'm pretty sure I could Cash App anybody. Usually don't find people who are like, no, I'm not doing that. And it's really only like one step with a whole lot of benefits to say like, well, can I just, can I phantom you? It would be the exact same concept.
It sounds inappropriate, Alex.
Sure.
You may not
whatever.
phantom me.
I'm trying to think of another one that sounds better.
I like, can I trust you? I wish Trust Wallet had, can I trust you? That would be a killer campaign.
Yeah, that's a good one. Trust Wallet.
Can I crack you?
Free campaign. Can I pay you in crack?
Also a killer campaign, though. Giving him a big time ding for that.
Do you accept crack?
Unacceptable.
I'll
and
try
another
that
one
at the farmer's market next week. Let you know how it goes.
At church. I'd like to make my offering in crack. What I want to tell people about draw your attention to is the MetaMask card. Okay, so MetaMask just released their own stablecoin, as we expect more and more wallets, exchanges, and traditional companies are going to start doing. William Quigley's talked about it on our show before. We've talked about it a lot. Yeah. MetaMask has
it makes sense. It just makes sense.
It just makes sense. And they've got a card to go with it now that they're launching too. A
Yep.
debit card that will allow you to instantly spend tokens from your wallet. You can choose which tokens you spend, pay with crypto, earn rewards, yada, yada. And the reason I suggest this one is not because we are sponsored by MetaMask, though we could be.
Yeah,
It's
could be.
because MetaMask has recently confirmed that they are, in fact, going to do a meta token, a MetaMask token. And if I was trying to get some free money, someone in the comments asked, what are some promising projects we don't hear about yet? This is it. Go back through our guest list. Those are promising projects. Many of them don't have a token. And these kinds of things are promising too. An established crypto company doesn't have a token, has tons of users,
So
and
many.
is going to need to figure out, who do we give our token to? Probably people that it would want to give its token to are going to be people who are incentivized to hold crypto in their platform. They need liquidity for their stablecoin. They need users for their wallet. And so if you're my debit card user and I'm issuing a token, I'd probably give you some. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, probably.
Safe bet.
Can I say, just because I do not get the MetaMask hate. I never have. I've always felt like I was missing something because it's a crypto tradition to just bash MetaMask for being crappy. And I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, it's the same. I feel the same when I use MetaMask as I do with every other wallet. Like, just tell me that you don't like the color scheme or that the Fox logo is not your favorite and you like the spooky ghost instead. Because that's about the difference for me. Like, I don't know. Maybe I've just used these things for too long. But I don't know. Like, if I open the app, it doesn't take me any longer to figure out where my shit's at. It doesn't take me any longer to run a swap if I want to. You can stake right from the wallet. There's an in-wallet explorer. I don't get it. I genuinely don't understand. I wish that someone could like explain to me with more than just "it sucks, bro," to tell me why it's so much worse. And I mean, I will happily admit that there are other wallets that have like cleaner or simpler interfaces. But like, if we're talking about the ability for me to get in there and like do the thing I need to do and get out and like not be confused, it's the same shit. I don't know. I really don't get the hate.
We have a killer follow-up question from Austin, but I have to read this comment first from Eagle Bread, who says, Alex's USAA account gets so much free publicity.
It really does. I mean, listen, shout out to USAA because they've been my bank for a long ass time. If you need them on the phone, they will get on the phone with you. They are sweethearts. But goddamn, like, I found out years later that because I used to have my car insurance there. Oh my God, did they just take you for a ride with insurance? They definitely rely on the idea that you feel special, that you get this bank no one else can use when you enlist and you're active duty and you get the military bank. And then you like get out and you compare car insurance rates with anybody else and you realize, oh shit, I'm paying double for no reason. I will say, a number of my friends lost their houses in Maria when it hit Puerto Rico. And USA just straight up dropped them. Oh, you're making a claim for the first time ever on your house insurance? So, in that sense, sorry, USA. Your interest rate sucks and your insurance sucks too.
Yeah. But
I guess you're nice. You're nice on the phone.
Jeff Rascal said that's 17 cents. That 17 cents gets a lot of airtime. That's becoming lore.
You know what? It really is. I've got to do a POAP, like a 17 cents POAP or something like that.
Yeah, anybody who can prove the yield they got from their bank was less than the yield they got from a stablecoin gets the 17 cents POAP.
No. Listen, I'm going to do I actually want, this would be funny. I'm going to do that. We should do that POAP, Evan, and then once a year we're going to airdrop all those people 17 cents.
Oh my God.
I am a big fan of this.
I'm writing that one down.
How have I never thought about that before? That's genius. It's so stupid. It's brilliant.
It's so good. That's absolutely killer.
I get a point for that.
You get a point for that. I'm also giving the 17 cent POAP its own points because that was really good. Austin said, I will sadly take that POAP.
Solemn says, I am a big fan of this. Who doesn't want a free 17 cents, right? Like, could it be better? Absolutely. Is it still 17 cents? Unfortunately, yes, it is.
Don't spend it all in one place, kid. Now, by way of transition, I just want to show you this thing that they have on their website because it's relevant for what we'll probably get to tomorrow.
Sorry, Every holder of the 17-cent POAP gets 17 cents off their premium membership when they sign up for the Rise Up Circle community. I'll write you a coupon. All right, back to you.
Oh, hey, we do have coupons. And we also, I applied for it yesterday, are going to get the ability soon, I hope, to pay for your memberships in crypto. So shout out for that. What were you laughing at? Is that what you're laughing at?
How'd you do that? What's that from?
It's
or through?
Ta-da, or the crypto thing?
The crypto thing.
That's Stripe. Stripe, who facilitates our
Stripe,
payments. Now they're like a huge crypto company. Honestly, super bullish on Stripe.
Yep.
And they make it possible for you to accept payments in crypto. So you had to apply for it. I applied yesterday. We're supposed to get an answer back in a couple of business days. And we should be able to integrate it with a couple of clicks. And I think we can take several different currencies, but top of my list, man.
I don't want to get ahead of myself. But I'm going to do the crypto thing and like pre-announce the announcement of an announcement to say that we have some cool stuff coming down the pipeline, and I'll have to see if I can make this happen. I'll bet you through one of them, we might be able to get somebody from Stripe, like Stripe's crypto team or something, to come on the show. I bet we can do that.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. Bet. I just wanted to tease this. It says, this is the copy from MetaMask's like card website. You're in control, go bankless, and maintain custody of tokens until you pay. This theme of being bankless is really coming up in a big way again and again. We were on a call with Simon, one of the co-founders of Myosin. We've had Blake, his colleague, on the show before. And what did he say, Alex? That one of the trends he's watching for next year is that wallets will become banks.
And honestly, I was like embarrassed to hear him say that because I agreed immediately, and I couldn't believe I hadn't phrased it that way before, because I've literally made the comparison to say that a wallet is an account that you can take anywhere. It's an account you only have to create once, and then you can take it to all these different places, and you never have to make another one. And it makes perfect sense to say that that is like, a better version of a bank. Because what's the biggest pain in the ass ever? Bank wise, right? Would be like trying to hop to a different bank and get all your money out of one and move it all to the other one and get all your stuff, whatever. Like that would take time. Not with a wallet. We go shit like this protocol anymore. Done. Quick point. Solemn asked if he can pay for his membership in XRP, and I said yes, but you have to pay double.
Correct.
I forgot to answer the question that Austin asked about. We were back and forth. Is it still, Alex, a taxable event if I use a crypto debit card to buy something with crypto that I purchased at a lower price?
Yes. Unfortunately.
And that's because you have incurred a taxable gain or loss, right?
Yes.
Presumably the price of that crypto token has changed.
I will say that one in particular is one of those that I would call like a technically, and I could ask, actually, Jessica, if you're watching, you would know more about this than I would. That feels really hard to like declare and track properly. I mean, what do you have to do in that instance? Like submit the purchase receipt as a take profit? Because technically, yes, you should declare that as a transfer of the thing that has accumulated additional value since you purchased it and turned it into something else. Technically, you should pay capital gains on that. But again, that's idiotic. And I would hope that we get some sort of like clarification to legislate that away, because again, then you're being double taxed. You already have to pay sales tax on the thing you bought, depending on where you are, whatever rate that is. So idiotic. I do not want this to come across as me saying like, yeah, do that. But like, technically that's the way it should be.
I will say, I can't find it right now, but I do remember reading something that like this was an area that regulators are really interested in looking at, because companies like Coinbase, like MetaMask, who have these products are like, guys, this is dumb. It's a problem. You shouldn't make us do this. And a lot of lawmakers are like, yeah, actually, you're right. This is dumb. We don't have good movement on it yet, though. I would say check back in 6 months, or, what's the 8-ball say? Ask again later, that kind of thing.
The 8-ball says it's really weird that this isn't in clarity, but it's not.
How'd you know that's what the 8-ball said?
I'm a genius. I don't know.
Crazy, man. Okay.
It's the vodka lemonade.
Austin also asked a really good question about privacy tokens and Zcash specifically. And because I think this is just such an important topic and it's been kind of hot this week, I thought I would just read people in and then we could give a take on it. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Beautiful. So Zcash, ticker
I was
Z.
reading a comment. I have no clue what you just said, but yes, absolutely. I trust you implicitly. Carry on, full send.
Points for persuasion, baby. Thank you very much. Zcash, ticker is ZEC, is one of a few so-called privacy tokens. Zcash specifically has gone up like, I don't know, 100% or so last week.
Yeah, a ton.
Yeah. There has been sort of a broad privacy coin rotation. Plus, there's been some news from
A
a
lot
token.
of chatter on Twitter about Zcash.
Oh, about
A lot.
Zcash specifically?
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually have not seen that. So do you have any that you're like read in on right now? I saw that.
Mert's been yapping about it for weeks.
Interesting. Well, and Grayscale has a Zcash trust, so that
Okay.
institutions have
Did not know that.
kind of lobbied in a little bit too.
Okay.
This is its highest since April 22. It's been much higher. In 2016, it was like $3,100 a token. You know, it's got one of these charts, a Godzilla chart. And it looks like that the move has been attributed partially to renewed attention to ZK snark technology, which is a type of zero knowledge proof system.
Which
that
is not a made up word.
It's
real.
absolutely a technical term, along with dank sharding, that underpins Zcash's shielded transactions. What Zcash does is it allows you to make a peer-to-peer money transfer that it's on-chain and so verifiable, but so that details about it are obscure, so it's private. This is like the benefit of being on-chain plus the benefit of like privacy. It's a real consummation that might be said is devoutly to be wished. It was originally a fork from Bitcoin's code base. And I haven't heard a ton about it since then, but Naval Ravikant, among others, has said that Bitcoin is insurance against fiat government money, and Zcash is insurance against Bitcoin. And that has always kind of stuck with me. But like you said, I know that Mert has talked about it some. I didn't see that he was like yapping about it this week. I just know he's big on privacy.
Yeah.
I think maybe I can find it here. He said something too about it, like a crypto ecosystem, if there's no private money, is like a nightmare or something like that.
I mean, it's one of those things, right? Like, it's kind of why we scoff when people say that crypto is just used by criminals for crime, because it's really bad for crime. Like, it gets that rap because of movies, you know, but in the same way that movies make every time someone touches a gun, it makes a bunch of sounds. That doesn't happen. Or, I don't know, pick anything that gets blown out of proportion or, you know, falsely represented in movies. Crypto is the exact same thing. You want to sound mysterious and shady in a movie, you say you're using Bitcoin, but really what you're doing is saying like, okay, I'm going to put evidence of my thing on chain forever so anybody can look at it anytime. And there's nothing I can do to like obscure or erase it. Sounds bad.
Listen to what Austin said about that. He said, as digital money becomes the norm, digital censorship becomes so easy.
Yep.
And he's right.
Correct.
So got to give him a point for that. I also see here that ECC, the electric, whatever company's CEO, when he talked about it on X, it looks like that tweet got a lot of traction. He called it a tipping point after the move to acquire Zashi Swaps, a company acquired. I'm looking at it here. It's obscure to me. Zashi Swaps. The hell is this even? Electric coin company. Their CEO moved to acquire something. Just more Zcash, I guess. That's what it is. He bought a ton of Zcash.
Okay.
And that's the kind of thing. This is a good example. The story is a good example of how, like, when one person gets a lot of attention for buying a token, that already buoys the price up because it's not a token a lot of people are trading, and that on-chain activity plus like his signal of like, I am doing this. It'd be like if the white whale went outside and said, hey, I'm buying a token. What would happen? The token would go up because other people know he's going to buy a lot and that they can maybe make some money with it. It's a bullish signal. This happens a lot in crypto. And I don't know if you have an opinion on like which privacy coin is best. I used to know more about Monero, but after that 51% attack recently, I feel like I'm a little spooked by it. And I don't know enough about Zcash personally. I think I, had read the white paper forever ago when I was into reading white papers. My understanding though is Zcash makes
so 2021.
So 2021. Privacy has like optional transparency, which is easier for custody and exchange support, cleaner audit trails. And Monero is like privacy by default. And that's what I got.
Yeah. I don't know. I should pay closer attention to them, but I really haven't.
Hugely important.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, when I saw the Zcash explosion, I was like, I mean, I get it, but I'm late. So I'll just sit it out. Because then, then you're buying a pump, and that's never a good idea.
Returning to the earlier topic of MetaMask and 17 cents, I want to shout out this comment from Raclette, who said, leverage the 17 cents in MetaMask perps, LOL.
Yeah, where can I get 101x leverage on my 17 cents?
Oh my gosh. Okay, we have a question here from Danny Connell, who wants to know about XCL. He says, any thoughts on XCL? It came out last Tuesday. It was not, in fact, LCX. And he says, you got to buy ETH. You got to swap for it on a wallet. It's for privacy and security. It did a 35x out the gate. I value your opinions. Donnie, thank you so much. I think I said Danny. I'm so sorry. We appreciate you. And already, before Alex has even got his nose out to sniff this thing, I am skeptical. A 35x out the gate. I don't know, man. Makes me nervous.
Okay, so
hella nervous.
Right off the rip, it's a privacy-focused DeFi project launching on Ethereum. So solving blockchain privacy, anti-surveillance, and high-fee issues by using proprietary technology like the Fox formula and ZK proofs. Okay, so it's ZK related, it's privacy-focused, and it's DeFi. This looks like a bumper sticker of trendy buzzwords that gets lumped into a thing because it's going to make a shitload of money pretty quick, and then it's probably going to flame out. That would be my immediate
X in the ticker.
Yes, it does, which is also great for branding.
XLR.
No buy sell taxes. Okay, cool. A million things can say that. Okay, so the one thing to watch out for, and Evan, I would kick this to you of your spiel because it's a lot faster and cleaner than me saying the same thing. 700 billion XCL tokens. This is the quick tokenomics notes, with 50% reserved for pre-sale. Unsold tokens are burned and initial liquidity is locked forever, aiming to prevent rug pulls. Okay, so that's a good bumper sticker too. Half of the supply appears to be earmarked for pre-sale. I don't know off the top of my head because I haven't looked yet, but what did this thing do in terms of like early buyers? What was there a KOL round? Like what's the vesting look like? How many people had early access to it? What price did they buy it at? Because they seem to make up a pretty significant chunk of the supply, which you definitely want to be aware of.
Yeah. So while you expound on that, I'm going to go to, I just flashed the price chart on the screen. It looks like a Godzilla chart. It looks like this train gift that Solom is sending us, where it's like a big tall hill.
That was a tractor, you wiener.
Oh, tractors, trains, tomato, potato. When you listen, man, don't quote me for that. I'm gonna go to token.
You live in Tennessee. You got to know what a tractor is.
I live in Tennessee, man. If we're reading as adults, we're feeling good here. Dolly Parton has worked really hard so that I could be literate. Shout out to Dolly Parton, by the way.
That's the point.
Yeah, definitely. I am going to look this up on Tokenomist, and no shade to all my other Tennesseans. I really was just making a silly joke. I love you all. Exceller is not even on Tokenomist. Oh, damn it. Tokenomist is a great website for trying to determine like what are the nitty gritties of the tokenomics, who got allocated the supply, when, how long is it locked for, when is it going to be released. I generally stay away from tokens of the pre-sale. It's such a gamble. It's such a risk.
Why?
Why? Because a token with a pre-sale is almost always positioning you as the product. Here's how it works. I raise $1 million from my venture capitalist friends for 10% of my company. Future tokens. They get a lot of them. Their tokens unlock first. Their tokens are bought cheapest. And then I spend the $1 million they gave me on marketing, get someone to write a white paper, get someone to build a really great website with a lot of buzzwords. And then I come to you. All the KOLs have my name in their mouths. Everything tells you you're early. And when you get to my website, you see that the pre-sale hasn't even started. Sign up now. Get an email about it. You get an email and it says you can buy into this token. It's going up 2 times in price next week. We're doing 5 rounds of this pre-sale. We're going to launch this token and it's going to be $1 then, but you can get it for 10 cents. Sounds pretty great, right? The problem is this has happened a lot in crypto. And what always happens is you buy it for 10 cents and then you buy it at 20 cents and you buy it at 30 cents because you're like, oh my God, I still can't believe more people don't know about this, whatever. You max it out. And as soon as this token launches, it dumps. Because those people who got in earliest, they're selling it. They're selling it at a lower price. They have better tools. So they are front running your sales, meaning they're getting them in front of the line before you. And so what started off feeling like you were standing in the front of the line at the movie theater, when the doors to the movie open, you realize there's a whole nother line inside. And there's only capacity for so many people. And there's only popcorn for so many people. And my friend, you're not one of them. You've just bought a worthless token and you're left holding the bag for everybody else. And most of the time, these people, they leave. It's not an outright rug pull, but it's pretty scammy and crappy and gross, and it happens in crypto all the time.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
It's basically, it should say a lot too that every KOL or influencer who has ever taken an early pre-sale says the same thing in their shill video, which is, hey, probably don't buy this on launch day. Wait for it to dump, because that's what they do. They dump.
Yeah. So Donnie, if this is you, if you got in on the pre-sale and you're wondering if it's going to go back up, is it possible? Yes, but it's not very likely. My advice to you, if you're considering buying this token, is don't. Wait for if it gets users, adoption, because the truth is, Donnie and everybody listening, if tokens like this were going to be great, don't you think guys like me and Alex would spend all of our time researching it, use everyone in our network to find out about it? We would probably find out about it before you did. And if we really thought it was going to be great, we would probably sell our house to go buy it. And nobody I know who works here, who makes money here regularly, invests in that kind of thing because it's just not promising. So if you're in it, do what you can to recoup the cost of those tokens. Better to sell something for a loss and have 5 years of your life back than wait till a pump that maybe never comes. Other thoughts?
Just like you said, I mean, the primary utility of these things is to make money for the early investors, which, fun fact, is the literal textbook definition of a Ponzi scheme.
Correct.
It's a pile of shit wherein new investors are lured in to make money for old investors.
Hey there, normies.
So regardless of whether or not the token sounds good, regardless of whether or not it makes sense, regardless of whether or not it's useful, it has a real utility, its primary utility out of the gate is to make money for the first buyers. Once that's happened, it's true that it could do its normal thing, but it's like accepted norm that these things rocket and then crater and then sit on Hades' doorstep for a while, and no one bats an eye because it happens every day. So it can be tempting because you could try to play the game. You could try to play the game of seeing like how far on launch day is it going to run up as people inevitably FOMO in. But you are playing hot potato with a large pile of money at that point. And so the question becomes like, can you play it correctly? And because of how insidery so many of these things are, the odds that you do that successfully are, you might as well just go pull a lever on a slot machine. At least it shows you a pretty show with lights and fun pictures while it takes your money away.
Alex, I try so hard not to be petty, but sometimes people make it so easy. And I was going to Twitter to look for a really good tweet on this topic when I happened to open up my screen to see this tweet from our guy over at Base, Jesse Pollock. It just says for people in podcast land, I quit. But then down below it says I quit giving up. So I think he's trolling.
Mhm.
but a girl can dream.
He'll be okay.
He will be okay. I actually saw what might be his best TikTok video. I want to give Jesse Pollock. Check this out. Oh, I want to give Jesse Pollock because I actually saw a great TikTok video from him the other day. Jesse, if you ever see this, just know, man, I see the hard work you're putting in. I see you trying. I wish you would listen a little more to the feedback people are giving you. But he decided or listened to somebody, because the other day he made a talking head video. He just finished a run. He was still sweaty. There was no like fancy camera. There was no how I made money. It was just like, hey, here's 3 things I'm excited about for base. He was in, I think, Singapore, maybe for token, or Korea for blockchain week. And he was just saying like, a lot of your builders came to Basecamp, and I thought the least I could do was come to where you live. It's not possible for me to hang out and talk with everybody all the time, but I want you to know this, Matt. And I was like, that's humble. You're there. You're just regular guy. That was cool as hell. So more of that, Jesse. More real stuff. And cut it out with the creator tokens. Alex, the tweet I actually wanted to highlight was from Clemente, who is a longtime Twitter guy. He often posts humorous, funny content about...
I will say his TikTok is on brand for him. And I have to say,
it's funny.
I'm not mad at it at all.
It's pretty funny. And he does have some, like, in the comedy, I think there are some really good takes. He had one the other day where he said, I'm just going to summarize it for people in podcast land. I want to reiterate how hard it is to be a profitable trader. He gives some examples of where he's won and lost. And he said, you know, after an 8x on Aster, or excuse me, 4x on Aster, 8x on $4, I lost 40% on XPL. I'm still up 4x, but I got to pay taxes. So now I'm up 2.5x. I also spent 8 hours monitoring my positions, researching. I lost on 3 trades before that. I'm not saying you can't make money trading. Just like we're not saying you can't make money on like these speculative early hypey tokens. But he says the rotational, chasing the hot new trend, the meta, it's so hard. You're better off sticking to like a smaller portfolio, a smaller niche, you know, maybe DeFi, maybe stable coins. And he says, crushing that. And
yeah,
I thought that was really solid advice.
Well said.
Double ding, Clemente. You're hitting the big leagues. I think they're calling.
To say, just because I'm trying to manifest it. And I think he knows this, and I hope that he does it. And I gather from talking to Rudo this morning that this is probably a mark of the effort it would take to produce videos like this. But there is a creator on Twitter called Star Platinum who writes these like very in-depth kind of investigative journalist style, but like the crypto Twitter flavor of just like all kinds of stuff. I've seen him write threads all about everything from Mike Tyson to DeFi protocols that like did something interesting. And then he also has a TikTok, and it's bad. And all I want every time I see him on TikTok is I would watch the shit out of a longer investigative journalist type piece where he talks through like with him doing the thing and the engaging storytelling, because he's such a good writer of the thing that he writes the thread about. And I hope that we get to see it. I gather that like he's talked about it, and it's just a lot to produce, and he's like looking to get an editor and like, you know, go big on it, because I think that would kill.
I do too. I'm a big fan of that. We have a couple more questions rolling in. Stop me if you've got one that you need to get to, but I've got Papa Aztec asked about Link. And I think this is a good opportunity for us to talk about tokens on the other side of the spectrum. He said, I'm thinking about selling my Link and going all in on Pengu. Solana, Link, Arrow, Sui, Bitcoin are my bags. Thinking about getting rid of some Link and getting Pengu. And he wants to know what we think the future prospects are for a token like Chainlink. And we touched on this a little bit this morning, but I'd like to double down on it. Chainlink, can you personally think of a protocol that's got more like substantive partnerships or like real world? I struggle to. Maybe Bitcoin has more actual real world utility than Chainlink.
But we're talking about then a category that just has Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum in it.
Mm-hmm.
And if the worst part about your protocol is say that those are your like companions at that level, then I think you're doing all right. So no, not really.
I agree. And the thing about it is, if you are putting on your venture capitalist hat, which I hope you are, you got to understand that Link's business is facilitating fetching information. It's its own network, its own blockchain. People buy Link tokens to like purchase this service the same way they'd buy Tau tokens to spend on like AI agent or compute services. You know what I mean? Or that security token we did at the very start to reward or get a security bounty or whatever. Like that's the purpose of this token. And the tokenomics ensure that the supply flows in a dynamic way, but it's built in such a way that it's so efficient that if every company that might want to use Link was using Link like reasonably to fetch data every second of every day, all the time, it would not move the needle on the market cap of that token. Link is probably an appropriately valued company. If every company in the world started, oh, you got one?
No, continue.
It might be overvalued. Is that what you're going to say?
No.
Oh, okay. Just to say, if all those companies bought all that Link just to use it, that's the thing. People are like, it's got utility, so people will buy it to use it and the price will go up. If all those people bought all that Link, my brother, my sister in Christ, the price would move like...
No. But that's not it, right? Like, and we talked, this was the cherry on top of that explanation, because it's accurate and it's great. And I agree. But that's not what moves the needle, and it's not what matters.
Yeah, exactly. Not for price.
No.
Not for price.
Speculation matters, because you and I both know that me buying Chainlink gets me a whole lot more stuff than me buying Nvidia's stock.
Absolutely.
And that stock doesn't do shit for me, right? So, but look at its valuation. It's crazy because of the speculation around their ability to whatever they're building, whatever the newest chips are, whatever they're making, the AI craze that's sweeping the world, yada yada, whatever, blah blah blah. I get it, right? Like there's no surprise that it's as big as it is. That's what moves the needle on stuff like this too, is the speculation that it's gonna be big.
And that's the perfect handoff, because Link is a company that almost no one knows. They will know it one day, and speculative fervor could drive the price up that way.
Yeah, but
The use of it won't.
You know what's interesting too, just to think about. I spoke to a friend of mine a while ago who works at a project called Third Web, which you may not have heard of, but they are gargantuan. They don't have a cryptocurrency. If they did, it would probably be just like Chainlink, wherein it would just be this thing that had its diehards, the people who are like, you can't, more partnerships and integrations than you can shake a stick at, yada yada, whatever. But Evan could give the exact same explanation that they could onboard 1 million more protocols to use Third Web's infrastructure, and it would not move the needle because blah blah. It's so efficient, it's so well built, whatever. But and I was just like, I mean, what do you guys think about Brainy? He's like, we don't need to, we don't want to. It's just like AWS. It's everywhere. Everybody uses it. Dude, you look under the surface. My God, Third Web is everywhere. But they don't have a crypto. Why? Because people just buy the service from them. They don't need it. Don't need to raise money with a crypto. It would tarnish the brand. It would hurt their mission to just be infrastructure, quiet, sneaky.
Yeah. Good answer. I'm giving us both a point for that one. I'm coming for you, man. I just want you to know that if I hadn't started with my handicap, I think, and you hadn't started with yours, I actually adjusted. I'm ahead. No, we might be tied. We're tied. Adjusted for oh no, I'm 1 point ahead. Adjusted for handicap, but technically you're winning. We had a question about Tharwa next, which I had never heard of. Tharwa, like the with an A, RWA.
Oh,
I don't know. I can't take it seriously. Who made these things up, man? From its websites, the docs, the crypto platforms, this is a summary I got. The website, if you want to play along, is Tharwa.finance. What an unfortunate name.
So it's supposed to be the RWA.
That's kind of the vibe I get just from looking at it. But then when I look at
all I'm thinking is shawarma, and I'm hungry.
I was thinking of shawarma, and then I was thinking of like a real one. Like if I was like an R&B group and I wanted to like be edgy, and I'd say the with an A instead of the with an E. Mm-hmm. But they don't look like they're going for that kind of vibe. They are the first real world asset collateralized stablecoin backed, because that wasn't enough, by an AI driven real world asset hedge fund. That's a mouthful. And the byline is tokenizing diversified multi-asset funds to power RWA-backed stablecoin yields. Did you understand it? I give
No.
myself a point for being able to say that with one breath.
Am I familiar with the buzzwords they use to make the brochure? Yes.
I mean, it looks like a fine little website, and I like the experiment. We're seeing a lot of that stuff, and I'm seeing a lot of people say, I have a bag of Tharwa. If you are a Tharwa holder, tell me where you heard about it. Oh, okay. Carp says, Ty talks about Tharwa. Must be Ty Crypto. If you heard anybody else talk about it, let me know. My next question is it a promotion? I don't think I've ever seen him disclose a promotion, so you might not know.
He's talking about it because he's getting paid to talk about it.
That would 110%.
He owns a shitload of it, and he's being paid to talk about it.
Yeah, he has a real track record of getting deals like that and then dumping on his audience. Like, he gets a token at a fraction of the price you pay, or maybe for free, to talk about it, and then sells it later. Carp says he's not my favorite, but he's made some calls that have panned out.
He does what's called the Nostradamus effect, which is, or the Nostradamus tactic, whereas that he calls so many things that because eventually one of them hits and he'll get credit for it, he can rinse and repeat that forever. And because he has like this sort of, he's had me blocked for years. That should tell you something, I guess. I've never even spoken to him.
You sounded really sad when you said that.
Oh, not at all. No,
I never even spoken to him.
I don't need that one. But it was interesting to find out that I had been blocked. So I was like, I've never seen one of his videos. Looked him up. Ah, that's why.
Oops.
It's just, he's a shill. He'll tell you too. He doesn't know shit about any of these things. He has no clue what he's talking about. He gets paid a lot of money. He has a big audience. People buy what he talks about because he has a big audience and because things pump when he talks about them, because he has enough clout to move the needle on smaller projects, which is why they pay him a lot of money to talk about them. And then as soon as he's made his money, he will never fucking talk about them again. Because
So
he
here's
has no clue what he's talking about.
Here's an interesting indicator. This is Messari.io. This is one of my favorite places to go for like crypto research. Their job is they produce a report. Used to be one guy who did it for free, and now he's got a whole company that has researchers and analysts who look at every sector of the crypto industry, every token that's worth sniffing, and they give a really interesting sort of report on it that has a lot of good metrics about the tokenomics. It's kind of like, Coingecko or whatever, but it also gets a little nitty grittier if you're looking at narratives like RWA. For example, it's got this new feature called Mindshare, which is like just a measure of sentiment data that is calculated through X posts and interpretation by Messari Copilot. And heads up, their Copilot is like a super trained GPT, but I've seen several answers from it, mostly on X, that people have generated. It looks killer. So it's a range from 0 to 100%, indicating the percentage of total crypto mindshare captured by this project. Could be, it also has an indicator of sentiment.
It's weird because that's brilliant. And I like that. Do you remember Lunar Crush?
Yeah, I loved Lunar Crush. I thought that thing was great.
I couldn't believe it when that was no longer a thing, because I the same thing. I thought the same thing. That was brilliant, and there was nothing else like it. This looks like that, the mindshare thing specifically. Lunar Crush was a social sentiment score assigning crypto dashboard, wherein you could see what cryptos were getting the most chatter on social media, and it like aggregated all that kind of stuff and displayed it for you. It was great.
And check this out too. It says stablecoins. It categorizes these things into sectors and subsectors. So the sector is stablecoins. It's number 42 in stablecoins. In the subsector of real world asset stablecoins, it's number 13. So to their claim that they are the first or the only real world asset backed stablecoin, not so fast, mister. And then in DeFi, it's number 162, hybrid stablecoins, number 3. I would be really interested to like click into this category more. Hybrid stablecoins. And I would expect personally to see that tokens in that sector are still largely so new and so small that it's a reflection that, not that this is a great promising project, but that maybe somebody with a big enough audience like Coach Ty to move the market cap a little has gotten a hold of it. And then, it's given it some prominence and attention. That's very valuable for projects to have that.
Certainly.
You're damn right. It's certain. I'm certain. That's what you got? Great. I wasn't sure. I wasn't looking at you. Sorry about that. It's about that time, Alex, where we can take a couple more questions, but then we've got to think about riding our dogs, our ponies, our cats, and our cows off into the sunset. We miss you, Will. So let us know if you've got something you want to ask us about that we haven't covered yet. And let me remind you that if we don't get to your question tonight, you don't have to fret, don't have to sweat. The best place to ask us your question is where all our shows live 24/7. Of course, I'm talking about the Rise Up community. The website is community.rumshq.com. Rums HQ's got a lot of great resources, but the one you need to know is community.rumshq.com. You create a profile, lickety split quick. It's totally free to join, and you can connect with me, with Alex, with Will, all of our friends like Solom in the chat, and like Austin, I'm pretty sure is there, and all the best people hang out there. The best, believe me, tremendous people. That's what I've got. That's the commercial. Give us your questions. People in podcast land are like, is this guy giving up tonight? No, I have not given up. Thank you very much.
I quit.
I cannot. I need to get a soundbite of Jesse saying something like based. I don't know what he would say, but I'd put it on the soundboard. Did you see this question from This Is Dave? Hey, Dave. Sorry. I was looking at SEAC. Dave said one more time, the URL is community.rumshq.com. And if you can't remember that, just wherever you are, whenever you listen, click into our bio and you will find a link there to the website. The free educational community is prominently advertised and we'd love to see you there. SEAC, pardon me if I mispronounced your name, says, I invested $100 in XRP today. Is that wise? Alex is shrugging.
The follow-up that they asked was, is it going up on November 22nd?
Oh no, the November 22nd thing. That's the the ISO when it goes live, I think.
Yeah, bad news. Have you ever seen that episode of Parks and Rec with the cult that rents the park every year to have their end of the world ceremony and celebration where they where Ron shows up to sell flutes because part of their religion says that they need to play flutes and recorders, and they all believe that they're going to be raptured the next day, so they just freely give their money to Ron, and then the next summer he comes back and does the same thing again. That's this. Could the price of XRP pump on the 22nd? It's more likely that it pumps in the run-up to the 22nd because of the speculation and hype around this hypothetical, theoretical event that's supposed to matter. In real life, it doesn't matter. But that doesn't mean that there can't be price action around it, okay? Just be prepared for it to be one of those buy the rumor, sell the news type things, wherein after the fact, when everyone realizes, like, shit, we read the tea leaves wrong and it actually doesn't matter at all, that the price goes back down again. I would be careful if you're buying it at, I don't even know what the price of it is right now, but if you're buying it,
I think right now.
Okay, so if you're buying it at like more elevated prices in anticipation of that one thing, just don't let yourself become the people who get rinsed. Because remember, a lot of people bought it a lot lower. And remember that this ISO thing is blown way out of proportion. Meanwhile, the mission statement of XRP allegedly is being actively fulfilled by Chainlink and Ethereum. Yeah. So just keep in mind, again, the price can absolutely pump around a date that has mythical significance like November 22nd. It doesn't matter whether it's bullshit or not, because price can still do crazy things. If you're trying to play that, be ready and have a plan beforehand so that you don't get swept up in the craze and the hype, or, whatever's going around, whatever's flying around the social media space, whatever leading up to it. Just don't let yourself get hosed. Because it's likely that, just like with every other significant date, event, whatever in crypto, not just for XRP, but for anything that has a big momentous thing, price often goes down after the fact because people are like, okay, it happened. Now we have to figure out what else we're looking forward to. Take profits.
Beautifully said. I would add to their follow-up, is the $10,000 a share thing substantive? Just to let you know, it's not in touch with reality. And the claims that people make are about why it could reach that amount usually have to do with XRP being the liquidity for a global financial system, which we are absolutely moving towards updating our global financial system. I would encourage you to look up SWIFT and their recent announcement about launching a new chain for payments and remittances with consensus. What we and many of the folks who work in the industry think is most likely to happen right now is that every financial institution is going to have their own stablecoin. And they are going to create a connection between their reserves, their customer deposits, and these stablecoins. And they're going to build a system for in-kind redemptions so that it doesn't matter if you're using your Visa stablecoin or your JP Morgan stablecoin or your Deutsche Bank stablecoin or your Walmart stablecoin or whatever. They're all going to stand in for each other and mostly all be worth the same. All be work the same. What a sentence. Mostly all work the same and make it easier for them to be, we say, interoperable. The problem with these banks and the systems they use now is that everyone's system is different. So that's expensive and costly and difficult. It takes a lot of time and a lot of money to align these things. Swift's update is aligning the messaging standards that different people use. It's a much needed upgrade. And the truth is that as these banks start to tokenize deposits, start to move into stable coins, instruments they own and control, because they would need that. What if one of their customers has money that's stolen? They could just reset the ledger. And they could probably use other global decentralized stable coins like USDC or USDT to transact with each other. Frankly, the on-chain data supports the fact that they already do. And just ask yourself this. In a world where Alex and I represent Alex Bank and Evan Bank, I work for Alex Bank, he works for Evan Bank, and we hate each other because why does he work at the bank that's got my name? Except we do want to do good business for our bank, so we don't want to lose money when we trade it. We need to settle billions of dollars in a single transaction. Why would we use a currency that's volatile, that is going to change in price in the seconds it takes that transaction to settle? Even a couple of cents in either direction is a tremendous loss or misadvantaged gain. And why would we choose to use a stablecoin like RLUSD to facilitate it that is owned by a highly centralized startup company, instead of going with our regulated partner Swift, using as a middle layer our own stablecoin that we totally own and control that is tied to the price of the US dollar? One of those things seems very likely and is already happening. One of them seems like a pipe dream that is mostly oriented to sell this idea to people of the token will go higher. Could it go higher? Absolutely. Alex, don't you think XRP is going to go higher if if Bitcoin goes to 150?
Yeah, absolutely.
Be nuts if it didn't, right?
Yeah.
But $10,000, it's not realistic. And that's because the price of the company would have to be perceived at thousands of times its current valuation. And it's already hundreds of billions of dollars. It would have to be worth more than like the whole stock market, every company on earth. Is it possible? Yeah. But it sounds more like a computer glitch than something that's likely to happen.
Yeah, the thing not to get hung up on is that just like flat earthers will come up with a bunch of nonsense to talk to you about why the earth is flat, anyone who believes that XRP is going to $10,000, they can definitely spin you a really compelling narrative to talk about why it's technically possible. And I'll sit here right now and tell you straight to your face, it's technically possible. If everybody who holds XRP tomorrow decided that they weren't selling it for less than $10,000, guess what? The price of it would be $10,000. It could literally happen overnight, and market cap doesn't matter at all. And the market cap would immediately go to whatever that price was, as long as they all held the line. What are the odds that someone wouldn't be like, well, I'll sell you some for 9,000. Well, I'll sell it to you for 8. I'll sell it to you for 6. I'll sell it to you for $10. All of a sudden, here we go. And that's why it would never happen.
Yeah. Markets are efficient. They find the right price. Very good questions, though, and thank you for trusting us to help. Alex and I are working with our friend Blockchain Bully to represent that side of a rational debate and discussion about XRP. He invited us to a debate. He said it was a debate, and he said it was XRP versus Bitcoin. And I was like, whoa. I was like, listen, I don't want to be a maximalist for anything, but I do think we could give a lot of appropriate nuance and context to, whatever people might want to talk about and hopefully represent it well. So stay tuned for that. Alex, I do want to do one last one, and then maybe we can do final thoughts and points. Yeah.
Yep.
We did do Rooster XCL, didn't we? We did XCL, Exceller. Yeah, we did do
Literally 5 minutes
XCL.
ago.
It was probably 15, to be fair.
Okay, whatever.
Rooster, go back in the live recording about 15 minutes. X seller, we talked about it. I'm not that thrilled with it, just to be honest. Kita, shout out in the chat. KTA, Kita. Kita fixes this. Jay Railer said about presumably cross-border transfers. Have you heard about Kita, Alex? I think it's like a cheetah based on like their logo. The idea being that it's like
never heard of it.
Fast, cheap. 32.2 thousand people think it's worth their attention on Twitter.
Okay.
And just according to a cursory glance, this is what they are. Layer 1, so it's their own blockchain. They claim to be a regulated, high throughput settlement rail that connects other blockchains and fiat or government money payment networks. So cross-chain, on-chain, with like KYC, know your customer, digital identity systems built in. The mainnet launched 2 weeks ago. They market 10 million transactions per second and 400 millisecond settlements. Fast, very fast. Google Cloud profiled a lab stress test according to a PR Newswire press release, a marketing piece, hitting 11 million transactions per second. Again, this is an engineering test, not day-to-day mainnet throughput. And it's backed by an ex-Google CEO, Eric Schmidt. Google Cloud and CoinDesk have referenced this. It's a delegated proof of stake thing. And the mainnet is live, like I said. The token and liquidity lives on Base. It's not been tested at capacity. It's not proven sustained mainnet throughput yet. The narrative to me seems interesting, and that's probably why it's getting attention, especially with the gravity of a name like Eric Schmidt, ex-Google. I would be cautious about it because the throughput versus reality thing, I mean, Alex, what do you always say about the lab test versus the highway?
It's like testing miles per gallon in a car by putting it in neutral and rolling it down a hill.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Of course it's faster. Of course there's no drag. But get it on the road in stop and start LA traffic and tell me how your gas mileage turns out. So I would want to know, like, how decentralized actually is it? How many validators are there? How are they, spread out? Who controls them? Who is providing this like KYC whitelisting user verification service? How portable are identities across actual apps? I'd want to know, are there receipts for that throughput, for that activity? When can we get a stress test? Does it work? And what are the actual integrations? Which banks, which fintechs, which payment processors are actually live with this? That's what I would want to see before I would be interested in thinking about investing. It doesn't sound like it's for us to use, does it, Alex?
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm probably too jaded to not be annoyed by things like that. But if I had $1 for every time someone advertised to me a really fast, better than whatever blockchain that's a new layer 1 that's going to prioritize this, that, and this, just magically solves the trilemma and is fast as shit, but side note, it's not at mainnet yet. Okay. I'm praying for you.
I will say what This Is Dave says is an interesting thing. I'd like to know what you think about this. He says it could be worth it to get in as a validator. And I feel like the same way that points farming, if you've got a lot of money and you want to trade like a perp dex up and down and up and down, you're the white whale and you want to do $1 million of volume, you'll get a big airdrop. Maybe if you're a technical person and you got a lot of devices that could be used as validators, maybe you would go around to these new layer 1s and run a validator just for the interest, just for the tokens. That could be a good play if you had time and you had resources. Sure. Wouldn't be for me.
But to be clear, that play is not necessarily because it's an incredibly valuable, going to be big next, replace the yada yada layer 1 of the future. It would be like Jeff the Dunker saying, you can make a shitload of money if you can farm a Ponzi scheme properly.
Exactly. Yeah. And for him, 110%.
Yeah. I mean, you could, but I wouldn't set it and forget it and hope that you're going to come back in 10 years and be a billionaire. I'd pay close attention to it and I'd get the hell out of there when it started to look sketchy.
Yep. I'd be hopping. I'd be farming Kita. Then I'd be looking. I would use a tool like maybe this new Messari sentiment indicator, or like Raclette says, you can get sentiment in TradingView. Maybe that's what you do. You look for new layer 1 networks launching, you look for the sentiment, and you go set up your validator. Be a fun technical experiment.
Yep.
Get some free tokens.
I mean, remember, every single thing that we're talking about here, we're talking about like the style of investment that you would be doing into this as a venture capitalist. So you got to think like a VC. If you're buying startups, if you're investing in startups, you got to think like a VC, which is shotgun approach. Don't put all my eggs in one basket. Be ready to jump ship. Come as a skeptic. Expect volatility. Know that most of these things statistically fail.
If you're coming here because you're looking for Alex and I to give you the classic Jim Cramer buy, then I'm so sorry. I can't tell you. I think the last time I felt that great about a coin we sniffed was the Ton coin, Telegram Network's layer 1 coin, and their founder was promptly arrested and the price fell in the toilet. Still bullish on Telegram. But
that was funny.
That was pretty funny. And
I think that in the span of like 2 weeks, we gave something a D and then it absolutely exploded. And then we gave something an A and then the founder got arrested.
So as reliable and maybe less than your favorite 8-ball, which says
we are really good at our jobs.
Hodl tight. So, my friends, that's another great episode of Rise Up After Dark with only one thing left to do. And of course, I'm talking about last thoughts and a points contest. So, Alex, I'm going to let you go first. Give a final thought and win some points for yourself, because as it stands, you are beating me.
You're welcome.
Not by much.
You know what's funny is that I actually had one prepared to immediately share as a final thought without having to like sit here and ponder and think about it and be surprised by the fact that the show is ending. And then you wrote me. So what was I going to say? Oh, just a reminder, as we reminisce on our greatest hits as a group of people on the internet that share their opinions about fake money. No one comes here to this show to get buy signals and sell signals on stuff because we don't know. We just don't. And honestly, I'm not trying to know. There are smarter people than me that can take more educated guesses about what the short-term price of something's going to do. You come here because you want to know, does any of this actually matter? Who's building this thing? What kind of person are they? Let's get through the jargon and the nonsense and kind of get to the nitty-gritty here and talk about like, okay, beyond the brochure, what are we actually doing here? And of course it's all opinions. So, just take all of this with a grain of salt and use every single thing that we talk about as an inspiration and impetus to go and read something about something. Been here a long time, seen a lot of stuff, plan on being here for a long time. This technology is the coolest shit I've ever seen. I'm so obsessed with it every single day. But when you're building a new industry, there's a lot of grifters and there's a lot of garbage and you got to sift through it. And the magic lies in between the garbage and the grifters. So shout out to people doing really cool stuff, building really cool things. Shout out. I'm going to give a point to a project that I love because I just think it's cool as hell. And I couldn't tell you what the price of it has done. I own some of it exclusively to put it on my on-chain resume to say that I've been in this thing for years. It's called Covalent. It's a very nerdy little data availability play from years ago. And I just saw from our friend Andrew over at Awaken Tax that they use Covalent in their actual business. And I was like, God damn, that's so cool. Shout out Covalent. So Covalent gets a point. I'm a big fan. Still awesome. Met them at a conference. Great people. Cool as hell.
And so, Alex, you get a point for your new album coming soon, Between the Garbage and the Grifters. Dude, I heard Emo Scene say it's a fantastic blend of metalcore and dank shard punk, and Rolling Stone said, who? Between the Garbage and the Grifters.
Something blob space, something ZK snarks.
Yeah, the lead single is I Will Absolutely Die on That Hill.
absolutely die on this hill.
Coming to a streaming platform near you. I just want to shout out all the friends who hang out with us. We've got Solemn in the comments. We've got Austin. We've got Dave. We've got, is it Fluke, who said, I'm just here for the vibes, which I absolutely appreciate. One of our goals,
Bullish.
we take great inspiration from the broadcasters who came before us. Alex, for a long time, said he'd love to have a show that's like Car Talk, and that's one of my favorite shows too. I've always thought what a great compliment it would be if people who didn't even care about crypto, the way I don't really even care about cars, could listen to our show the way I love listening to Tom and Ray and enjoy it and maybe learn something from it and get a little connection from the people here. That's what we're doing. And I couldn't be more bullish. So
Yep.
just for good break.
Firmly in the category of favorite broadcasters are Click and Clack, the Tappet brothers.
Yeah, hard to beat them. There's a Hall of Fame list, and
so good.
they're right up there. So
shout out
I
Car
guess we got to do a little points now.
I win. The end. Good night. See you guys in the morning.
Actually, I think you might. There are several points that I didn't get. Who did you give 3 gwumps to at the? Oh, I just have. Christina has 5 points. Who did you give 3 gwumps to?
Dude, I don't remember. That's your job.
Why didn't I write that down?
Don't
it was
fault me for that. I'm barely clinging to a victory here.
Somebody from Podcast Land, tap back in the recording and leave me a comment. You remember what I'm talking about? Somebody got a lot of gwumps tonight, and it wasn't me. What did Gwumpish? Christina had something about the man.
She said not the lingering gwump. No, that
not
wasn't
the lingering gwump. The lingering gwump is the second single off of Alex's album, Between the Garbage and the Grifters.
Was it
another point for that?
Did you? It wasn't USA. I did complain about them as usual, but I don't think they got all the gwumps. Damn it.
No, and Ethicalish says I will take the gwumps. Okay, all right. Listen, there are a lot of gwumps, but this is how the points stand. With 1 point, we've got Liechtenstein. We've got Simon Yee, co-founder of Myosin, and we've got the 17-cent POAP coming to a wallet near you. So bullish on that. With 2 points, we've got Clemente, now on TikTok. With 5 points in third place, it's Christina. And
she so constantly shows up in the beginning of the show, says one thing, gets a shitload of points, and then disappears into the night and always makes it onto the leaderboard.
Yeah, she's
consistent podium.
Consistent podium. She's okay. The audience says USAA definitely got a gwump, so I'm gonna at least give them their due. We actually, Alex, here's what happened tonight. This is also unprecedented in the history of the Rise Up After Dark show. I got 9 points. I started with a handicap of 1 gwump. You got 9 points, but you started with a handicap of 2 points. So technically, you have 1 more point than I do.
Okay.
But
there
also,
you go.
technically, I earned more points than you. So
no.
I'm going to leave it to the audience. You got to vote for it in the comments. I'm going to give us both a round of applause. I'm going to give you just the satisfaction of sharing this victory with me, because we get to share a victory.
Even when I win, Evan wins, is what I'm taking from this.
Everyone in the comments says, Alex.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, man. Too late. The points have been assigned. You'll have to give him extra points next week. Will be
you guys
back.
See what I'm working with?
Isabel, the co-founder of POAP, will be back. We got to tell her about the 17-cent idea. I think that is the move. And will be
Solano
back.
says that's selective score counting again. I'm telling you, I'm dealing with corruption of the highest order on a weekly basis.
I could run a Justin Sun level blockchain, meme coin, whatever. Somebody get at me. Alex and I have always said we could make a lot more money if only we were willing to do just a little bit of crime. And this is about as much crime as I'm willing to commit right here on the soundboard.
Every time that Evan rugs me from a victory that I deserve and earn, it pushes me a little bit closer to a life of crime.
It's a centralized game show. Maybe one day when it's DAO, somebody else can have the soundboard. But until that time, everybody, you got to keep tuning in to see who will win next time. So thank you, my friends, for being the very best part of what we do. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Will. We got to go. We'll catch you tomorrow in the morning with DJ Willie Quiggs. And until then, everybody, stay safe. What's so funny? What's so funny?
Just it's so funny to me that we saw that guy on stage just give an absolutely killer keynote, and now we're talking about him as DJ Willie Quigg's regular recurring guest on Debridge. Would never have. That was as they say, that was never on my bingo card. But
such a serious man too. Like he's got a good sense of humor, but he takes himself seriously, and I
but literally has a traveling DJ set.
He did it to himself.
He did it to himself.
He'll be back with us on the show. And until then, my friends, we hope that you stay safe, that you are well. Until then, rise up.